The SavvyDox Reader for Windows desktops is a key component of the SavvyDox Content Distribution Suite. Similar in functionality to the iPad reader, it has been optimized for use with the Microsoft Windows platform. And it's been designed for two primary roles within the document distribution lifecycle. The first is a busy stakeholder, and for this individual, the reader ensures that he can always be kept up to date and provide feedback on the most important documents for the business, and these would have been published to him through the SavvyDox system. And this can be done with virtually no effort on the part of that reader. The second is for the author or publisher themselves, and for this individual or role within the cycle, it provides a great vehicle to review the comments that the reviewers have provided, but all with inside the document kind of context, so that all the contents can be seen relative to each other right in place in the document. Let's take a closer look. The first screen that you see here is the login screen. You would have been sent a group of credentials from either an administrator or an invitation from the SavvyDox system itself. In this case, I'm going to play the role of a board member who's a key stakeholder, and he would have entered the username, password, and the name of the SavvyDox server that he'd been given. And then we click Login. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is collections and documents in the overview, because the whole idea here is to get to the information you need to know as quickly as possible. So by default, the documents are organized into collections. There are two system collections, an all published documents collection and an all received documents collection that are always there. But you can also create custom collections to organize documents the way that you like to work. And in this case, I've set up one called My Favorites for the purpose of this demonstration. So I'm going to click on that. Now, you can see in this collection, there are 3 documents. And I want to talk a little bit about the indicators, because this is how you quickly figure out which documents you want to work with. In the top left-hand corner of each document, as you can see up here, there's a green check mark. And in this case, that indicates the document is up to date, we're connected to the server, so we have the most recent information for sure. Along the bottom is what we call the banner that provides information about the status of the document. Now this one here is a brand new document. It's the very first version. I haven't looked at it yet, so it just shows as blue and new. In this case, the audit of accounts receivable shows as blue and new. However, the number 10 indicates the number of changes since the last version of the document. So I have looked at this document before, but this is the most recent version of it, and I haven't seen that one yet. On the far right-hand side with the Jobs Act, here's an example of one that I have already taken a look at, and you can see that with the indicator up in the top that I'd previously been looking at that document. So it shows as gray, indicating I've already looked at it, but also the 3 indicates 3 changes since the last version. Now, because I'm on the audit committee, I want to take a close look at what's going on with the audit of accounts receivable. So I'm going to open up that document. First, I want to provide a little bit of orientation to the SavvyDox Reader interface here. There's 4 panes that are going to be of interest. The first is some simple navigation, either by page, which is what the Pages pane is, by search, which allows you to enter search terms in the document to do full text searches. Over here, we see changes, which allows you to quickly zero in on the things that have changed in the document and find out only those pages of change. And then finally, annotations, and these are the ones that allow you to see the comments in the document or add some of your own. To help focus in on what SavvyDox is really good at, I'm just going to close out the navigation, because that's just standard page navigation, and focus in on changes and annotations. So the first thing that I want to do is get to some key changes in the document. And you can see that as I go through here, the pages with changes are indicated within this pane here, and I can see some have had updates, some have had insertions, some have had updates or deletions. A couple of other things I want to show you. First, this says the document again is completely up to date, and it has 10 changes since the last version. Now, if I've been away for a while, I may not be interested in the previous version. What's actually of interest is what's changed since the last time that I looked at that. So this allows me to have a look at not just the previous version, but in fact, if I'd been away since version 1, I can click on that, and you can now see that the indicator says we're now comparing version 4 to version 1. The number of changes has become 30 changes, and the number of changes has has updated significantly. You can see here's one page here that has a mixture of insertions, updates, and deletions on it. And if we just scroll through that, lo and behold, that's the table of contents. But it allows you to see that the convention is yellow or light orange indicates the things that have been updated. A red drop pin with an X in it indicates sections that have been deleted, and green indicates sections that have been inserted. Now, as a member of the audit committee, I'm particularly interested in the areas of handling of financial write-offs, etc. And I see there's been some changes in this whole section. So I want to take a closer look. I can remember from some work that I was doing before I went away that this happens in around page 19 of the document. So I'll just jump in somewhere around about there and have a look. Sure enough, there have been some changes to the title that you can see in green here. And if I go ahead to the next page, I can see that looks like there's been a section removed as well as some one that's been updated here. Now if I hover over the deleted section, I can see there's a whole important section on controls that's been removed. So it's important that I provide the author with some feedback that this section needs to be added back in. So now I want to talk about the annotations capability that makes that really easy. So over here I'll switch over to my annotations tab, which shows the other notes that are in the document, and I'll come back to that in a minute. But in order for me to add a note to the author, it's as simple as right mouse click, new note, and type in the text that I want to provide. You can see along the bottom here that there are different sharing options. By default, notes are personal. No one else other than you will see them. They can be little memory joggers to yourself as you're reviewing documents the next time. In this case, I want to share it with the author, so I'm going to select the author sharing option. I could have also decided I wanted to share with everyone if we were operating in a completely collaborative environment. So I'll make that selection and close the note. And that's it. So now really what I've done is I've, in only a few clicks, been able to zero in on the documents that have changed, the areas within those documents that have changed and will be of most interest to me, get to the essence of what was important to me, and very quickly and simply provide feedback. Now just before I leave this document, I want to see what other comments some other board members have made while I've been away. So I see there's been a number of comments around page 5, so I'll head there, and this is the executive summary. In fact, I'll just sort of zoom out to see this page at a glance. And I can see there's comments from 3 board members here, indicated by 3 different colors. And so the bottom one is board member 3 saying I'm okay with the summary. Board member 2 here has said that they need some data to support the statistics they're claiming. And then this is actually a previous comment that I've made in the past about needing to emphasize risk here, and it's been brought forward through all the versions since I made that comment. And so that's it. I'm done with this document. I can go back now and you can see that it's been updated to turn gray to indicate that I've read it, and I can decide what document that I want to look at next, perhaps the SavvyDox travel policy, which is brand new. So there's a quick tour of the SavvyDox Reader for Windows desktops. It's great for busy stakeholders to zero in on the information they need to come back up to speed. It's great for authors that have published out using the SavvyDox system to see the comments that their reviewers have made in the context of the document. And we've only touched on a small subset of the functionality. It's available now from the SavvyDox support site in the downloads area. It's also available from the Microsoft Windows Store. Check it out for yourself.